So, who had Kyren Lacy leading LSU in receiving on Saturday coming into the game? I mean, it wasn't on my bingo card. Can't imagine it was on yours. That was awesome. I found myself sitting in my kitchen watching that game. Would have loved to have been there. Couldn't go. I found myself sitting there smiling, just so happy for this kid, because all offseason we talked about how, hey, this is kind of his last chance. He's got to turn the corner and finally show what he can do for LSU. And finally we saw some glimpses, but really it was a full scene of what Kyren Lacy has been in small sample sizes and what he can be for this Tigers team. And it was awesome. As I said, he leads LSU in receiving, his best game ever in a college uniform, in an LSU uniform. Of course, he spent time at Louisiana Lafayette, transferred over to LSU last season, played last year for the Tigers, but we hadn't seen him really assert himself as a go-to receiver. We heard rumbles of it, mumbles of it in the offseason. Hey, this guy's had a great camp. He's finally escalated his game to a point where he can be a key part of this offense. And we finally saw it all come together for him in this game against Auburn, and it was very unexpected. 4 catches, 111 yards, 28 yards per catch, and a touchdown. He was a legitimate playmaker. Like, he's beating guys one-on-one clean. Catching the ball, taking it 30 more yards, dashing, weaving, cutting, knifing, getting extra yardage, fighting into the end zone for a touchdown. I mean, that was awesome stuff. That was stuff that we've seen Malik Neighbors do this season time and time again. Brian Thomas as well. Kyren Lacy, though, he had an occasional catch here and there. In this game, he had more yards and catches than any of his previous 4 games combined. 2 of those, he had no catches, no yards. And then the last 2, he's had like 1 or 2 for 20, 30 yards. Nothing really notable, nothing really to write home about. But you had to know his name in this game because he was getting a great matchup on the outside. He was getting in routes, post routes, and setting up his routes beautifully. Like, if you watch the replays back of his big plays, he's burning his defenders one-on-one. Like, his route running was masterful. And Jaden Daniels, of course, is hitting him right in stride, right where the ball needs to be. I imagine this is what practice looked like in the spring, in the summer, and in the fall, in the times that we couldn't see it and it wasn't open to the media. And we can only go based on what we see. And we hadn't seen Lacy and Daniels develop that relationship on the field until now. And you know what? It might be the perfect time for that to happen, because if you add another weapon into this passing offense on top of Neighbors, on top of Thomas, on top of even Mason Taylor, woo, look out. I mean, what are you going to do if you're an opposing defense? Because Neighbors is getting the best opposition defender every game. Like, he's getting their best corner. He's getting their best safety. Thomas is getting their second best corner, second best safety. So then who's covering Kyren Lacy? It'd be the nickelback or the number 3 guy, right? And if Lacy can win that matchup consistently, and you actually have to respect what he does out there and put a safety on top and, help out, cover him, that's a problem. That's a real problem. I imagine Auburn made it their game plan to try to lock off Neighbors, who still had a great game, and take Thomas out of the ball game, and they did. Thomas only had 2 catches for 7 yards. But you know what? Who cares when Kyren Lacy is picking up his slack? And he certainly did that. So this offense can be very dangerous against any defense if Lacy continues even just a little bit of this style of play, because what you might be thinking is that when LSU plays a better defense than Alabama, a Georgia, a defense like that has legitimate linebackers, a great defensive line that can get pressure, and 2 or 3 corners and safeties that are very good, what if they shut down Neighbors and Thomas? Well, you still got Kyren Lacy, and if he can play the way he played in this game, in those big games and those big moments, and when LSU needs a play but their usual guys aren't stepping up, and he does, wow. I mean, this offense will just continue to produce, and that's a very scary sight. As I said, I mean, Auburn limited the big plays. We told you guys going into it that they don't give up a lot of downfield shots, hadn't seen it on film, and they really didn't in this game. But Kyren Lacy created those big plays because he beat his defender one-on-one, got to the middle of the field against man coverage, against zone coverage, caught it in traffic, and got some more yardage after the catch as well in that open space. So that was awesome. If they can just add him in as another viable option for Daniels to throw to, they got great chemistry. It was apparent in those hookups they had had on those in routes, on those routes where Lacy, kind of needs to time it up correctly, and as soon as he cuts open, the ball's got to be there. It was there. There's legitimate chemistry there. And if we see more of that going forward, Alabama's in trouble. That's all I got to say. So that was very exciting to see. Good for Kyren Lacy. Let's see if he can keep it up.